Let's go for a walk. And we're underway. And it's going to be a bit of a long walk. According to Google, it's going to be about 5 miles if I do everything as I planned to do when I mapped it out. So, first we're going to walk over to the zoo. Then we're going to go down to Rock Creek. We're going to walk along Rock Creek into Georgetown. And then I got to come back home. Hello, Pennsylvania. Nice house. The cathedral's just up over there, but my kids are not in school today. They're in homeschool today, online school today. They were at the cathedral yesterday, or no, was it Wednesday? Yesterday was what, Thursday? Yeah, so Wednesday was their last day in-person school, and then their cohort goes online for 5 days, and then it's Thanksgiving, so they take a break, and then the week after Thanksgiving, it's all online, all kids online, and then 5 days after that, all kids get tested again, and then they try to put the kids back in school, back into the cohort system. We think. We hope. This is a private park. This is not a city park. This is a park that is owned by the neighborhood. The people that live here own this park. Hello, India. So it's kind of a dog park. I don't think anyone. This is Washington, D.C. Yes, we're in the northwest quadrant of Washington, D.C. in a neighborhood known as Cleveland Park. When Washington, D.C. was founded, this was mostly farmlands. A lot of the houses have sort of a farm style to them. And we're also up on one of the bigger hills in the city, Mount St. Albans. As we're going to walk our way down, though, to sea level. We're going to go down to the Potomac River in a little bit. So as you guys can probably imagine, this is a rather expensive neighborhood. Hey, Japan, how's it going? I was just listening to some Totoro music yesterday. And Ponyo. Ponyo, 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 do 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 do. Hey, puppy. How much do these houses cost? And that one there is about $2 million probably. I don't think you could. I think like most of the houses in this next block, minimum, like $2 million, 1.7 million, 2 million US, something like that. No, 2 million US for the whole house. I don't know how big they are. A couple thousand square feet. It's tricky because a lot of these houses are historically preservation houses, so you can't really modify them. I mean, I think you have to get government approval just to change the windows. The windows have to be a certain type. Avoid the dogs. Speed bump. Thump, thump. Thump. Oh, he bottomed out. I hate speed bumps. I've been switching sides of the street because I'm trying to avoid dogs. People with dogs, and then when the dogs see me with a mask, the dogs kind of go crazy when they see you with a mask. DC has a mask law. Everybody must wear a mask in public unless you are strenuously exercising, which I'm not. No, probably drop it off the next block. This is actually a really busy street. I have to cross here. And on paper, pedestrians have the right of way, but in reality, nobody yields to pedestrians. He might. Last year. Yeah. This sidewalk's actually nice because it's a little bit farther away from the car. But not like Hong Kong where I could go up in the mountains. We are in DC itself. I live just next to the cathedral. In fact, this is my neighborhood. Though I live in an apartment building, not one of these houses. This one's for sale. Bonjour, bonsoir. I don't know what time it is in France right now. So this is probably like 1.7 million, maybe 2 because it's modern. This looks like a pool. That's definitely 2 million, I bet. How can we rent? Because we're not really sure how long we're going to stay here. We have a house. I mean, I do own a house out in the country. I have a country house, but this is just our city apartment. And the values, getting a mortgage in this area is actually hard because the values of the houses have exceeded what the assessed values by the banks. They're not willing to give you a mortgage for places around here. I have a house in southern Maryland, which is about an hour from here. So you can see on my Instagram, I often put pictures up. In fact, I put a picture up yesterday of the view. Yesterday morning, I was in the country house the other day, and I came back to the city last night. Instagram is Penguin6. YouTube is Penguin6. No, on the bay. I live on the bay. Morning. Pony pond. It's a pretty blue sky day. So this is taking us down to the zoo. And from there we'll go into Rock Creek. I don't know if the zoo is open, to be honest. If the zoo's open, we'll cut through the zoo, yeah? It's always fun. There's a baby panda at the zoo. We must wear a mask in public in DC unless we're strenuously exercising. So I do have a mask on now, though when I get into the woods, I'll probably take it off in the woods when I won't be encountering any people. DC has some of the most stringent rules on the virus in the country, to be honest. But DC is actually doing better than most of the country. No, I'm not wearing an N95. They're selectively enforced. And there's also the public shaming factor. They are enforced in the stores. Yeah, I mean, walking up that hill, I definitely vote strenuous. But, who knows? So, we're coming down to Connecticut Avenue now. The houses here are closer together. They're still huge. I mean, look at this house. Yep. Look at that beast. It's sold. My Apple Watch is telling me I'm walking. Okay, I hit it. Hey, London, how's it going? I haven't been in London in so many years. In fact, though, I was just booking tickets this summer. And I was talking to the wife about, maybe we should pop in to London on the way home from our trip to Asia. But we plan to be in Asia for about a month or so. And at least I plan to be in Asia about a month. I don't know how long she's going to go. It's complicated. Hong Kong is actually experiencing a fourth wave now. They had 50 cases, and people are freaking out. Hong Kong has had about 5,000 cases total and 100 deaths. That's for 7.5 million people. It is low, but they're very... The thing about Hong Kong is you have to understand this is not their first rodeo. This is not their first outbreak. We've dealt with bird flu. We've dealt with H1N1. We dealt with SARS. I mean, Hong Kong was one of the hardest hit places in the planet from the original SARS. Yeah. Well, I mean, the state of Maryland, for example, is having 2,000 or 3,000 cases a day, and they're about the same size as Hong Kong. That's a big house. Look at that one. Privet, Russia. How are you? Things are getting rough in Russia, I just saw the craziest video from Russia. Of course, Russia is kind of known for crazy videos, but I saw a man in Kazan. Kazan is in Tartarstan, basically Russia. And he was drunk and he missed his girlfriend going to the airport, so he just drove his car through the airport. It was insane. Hey, what books do we have? Okay, it's a book library. 50 Shades Darker. I was in Hong Kong at the tail end of SARS. So SARS wasn't actively spreading when I was there, but SARS was still on everyone's mind. People were still wearing masks and stuff. I've often thought a great reality show would be Russians versus rednecks. Yeah? Because they have so much in similarity. I mean, they always like doing crazy stuff and fixing cars and doing stuff with guns. No one's won that intro. Though there's all these rumors about Putin this week, all these dementia rumors or something, and possible resignation rumors flying around the British media about Putin. It's been a very, very interesting 2 weeks for Russia watchers. This is a library right here. Yeah, they've been poo-pooed by the government. But it does beg the question, who is planting those rumors? Is there a rival? Is there a rival faction trying to spur something on? So this is Cleveland Park. There's a subway station just up the street there. And this is a little neighborhood of shops and a library. And just across this bridge is the zoo. So we're going to go over the bridge. I don't know if the zoo's open, though. I think they're closing. Yeah, he is quite old. So we are now on Connecticut Avenue. Connecticut, in fact, if I stayed on this street, I would literally run into the White House. This road ends at the White House in, 33 blocks. No, not 33, like 28 blocks. That's actually quite a nice library over there. They just renovated that one, just rebuilt it. No, you can't go to the West Wing without approval from the Secret Service. You have to know somebody there to get an invitation. I have been to the West Wing. I have been to the Oval Office. Though I didn't really go in it, I just sort of sat at the door. I think I've been there a couple times. No, not apply online. If you know somebody who works at the White House, they can schedule a private tour for you of the White House. I've been on the White House a couple times on business and a couple times on tours. I actually ate at the White House cafeteria in the White House, which was cool. So this used to be a road. It does smell like an old building. So this used to be a road called Klingle Road. And then we had this massive flood, this massive rainstorm, and it washed out a huge portion of the road. And the residents of the neighborhood said, can we just turn the road into a trail rather than a road? And so they turned it into a park. This is actually a famous condo. This is the Kennedy Warren building. This was like the first building in Washington, D.C. to have a doormat. It was like in the 1960s, and this is where all the celebrity politician types from New York would live. This is a subway access point. So the subway is actually directly below us, several hundred feet below us, but it is below us. And so there are emergency exits. That was a subway emergency exit. I miss Hong Kong every day. Definitely miss Hong Kong all the time. But life is life. I miss the food. Usually when I gotta go eat, I miss Hong Kong. Yeah, noodles would be good. So that was the big question. I don't even know if the zoo is open. Some museums had opened. The zoo had opened, but they just announced yesterday that they're shutting down again. Well, the McDonald's in Hong Kong is a gourmet McDonald's, where you custom make the burger with Angus beef, all the different ingredients, cooked right for you, served by a waiter. Here you go to McDonald's and they basically throw the food at you after they microwave it. But, you know, you learn things. Things I learned this week. You can freeze Hostess ding-dongs. Yeah, I didn't know that. So, if you've ever had a Hostess ding-dong, it's yummy. But someone told me if you put it in the fridge and get it ice cold, it's even more yummy. So, we are seriously considering getting some frozen ding-dongs. All right, should we keep walking on the street or should we try to cut through the zoo? What do you guys think? Zoo. All right, we'll try. If it's open, we'll try. Man, they got a ton. Actually, you know what? It might be like, you might need like a ticket to cut through. We'll go check because there's like a bunch of security over there. I don't know if I could just pop up. I don't know if I can go in. Normally you can, but because of the virus, there might be like timed entries. The lions have a mask. Timed entries passes are required. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get a timed entry pass. Let's see if there's any passes today. God, what's the day? Friday. Allow. Please select available time. What time is it? What time is it? 11 o'clock? Yeah, I get a pass. Oh, God. So I'm filling out my address. Visitors aware of face covering, social distance, hygiene. Didn't agree to the thing. I agree to the terms. Okay. Shoot. Oh, crap. There we go. Stupid thing. I did have two phones today. DGJ, CCH. Hang on a second, guys. There we go. Well, it is difficult because this phone isn't set up.
Hello.
Hi. Got a ticket?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So I've got a ticket. It was tricky to do because the phone was texting to the wrong phone. This phone doesn't have a... Oh, it's free. It's free. It's just they're trying to keep the number of people down in the zoo. She doesn't scan, they scan down here. I think I got a temperature check too. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep. Okay, we're in. I got a golden ticket. Now, normally you don't need a ticket, you just walk in. But due to virus, they have to time it to try to minimize the number of people. The elephants are waiting. I was looking for the panda because the panda had a baby. There is a baby panda somewhere down here. The baby panda is waiting. But I'm not sure if it's that part of the zoo is open. We'll see. No, they don't do like animal shows really. I mean, they do feedings and stuff, but they don't do like bears and tutus anymore. Though we went to we went to a tiger show in China, and man, it was like 1950s circus. And we were just looking at the tigers. The tigers were looking at the tiger keepers with this look that said, one day you're going to turn your back, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I mean, these tigers were pissed. There actually was a bear in a tutu playing basketball at the China Zoo. And we have a zebra sighting. No. But I can still go to Hong Kong because I'm a permanent resident of Hong Kong. I have a green card, so we say, so I can go to Hong Kong and if I feel like it. And if I get to Hong Kong, then I can go to Singapore, Macau. Some really scary stuff. I mean, like lions. The lions are at the bottom of the zoo. The lions and tigers. And there's a couple bears here. Ooh, what's this? It's a gazelle. I live in Hong Kong 7 years, you get one. This is a lesser kudu. And there's another baby lesser kudu. You've seen these on 21 days. That might suck. I'm hoping by the time I go there, the vaccine will like get us a pass or something. The zoo in Hong Kong is a joke. It's got an orangutan, a couple monkeys, gibbons, birds, a lot of birds. That's pretty much it. The zoo has some snakes and turtles. A lot of people want to tear down the zoo in Hong Kong because they think it's just too small it's not fit for purpose. There's a buffalo. You guys want to see the buffalo?
You want to go back for real quick?
Where the buffalo and the deer and the antelope play. There are lions here. There's nothing scary in Hong Kong. Ooh, it smells like buffalo poo. Oh, I think the panda might be closed. It is. Cheetahs are down at the end. That's a military helicopter. There are many, many, many military helicopters in DC. In fact, I think someone said, and rightly so, that DC has more helicopters than pretty much any other city in the country. Guys, we can't go see the panda. The panda is in isolation because the baby. So, Andrews Air Force Base is a little bit far away, but and Homeland Security's headquarters is kind of near here. So, I don't think there's boars here. Now, we can go into the elephant house, but I warn you that the signal might get toasty. So guys, here's what's going to happen. If the signal dies, completely, I will restart, okay? But I have to go through here, and I have to go in one way. So hopefully 5G will keep the signal. Let's see who's here. Sorry? Elephants. There's another one going outside there in the back. Elephants. The gibbons are on the other side. It's actually kind of cold today. It's about 53, 55 Fahrenheit, which is like 13, no, it's about 14 Celsius. I think that is 14 Celsius, 15. So we can go into buildings, but our signal, I don't know how was the signal there? Were you guys able to keep seeing stuff? So the zoo, so this is like the outdoor elephant cages, but the zoo is taking advantage of this time and doing a lot of construction. Oh, that's good. So they're doing it, like a lot of the museums in DC are using this downtime to accelerate repairs. Like repairs they had planned for next year, they moved them up to this year because there's no patrons in the museums. So it's the perfect time to like redo stuff. And that's what they're doing here at the zoo too. 9C in London. Ugh. Not pleasant. Is there a petting zoo? No, not really. There is a American farm exhibit at one end where I think kids can kind of interact with some of the animals, but it's not like officially a petting zoo. I'm not really sure. It's a rather new addition in the since I went to Hong Kong, so I've only been here a couple times since I moved back. They do a nice Christmas. They put lights up all over the trees at Christmas. Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner to walk over here. I suspect this is all going to get closed next week. Building closed. That building's shut. Some of the buildings are just too small, I guess, to house socially distanced people. Hey, somebody said monkeys. Did somebody want to see a monkey? I think we have monkeys.
Sorry.
All right, guys, once again, we're going to go into a house. I cannot guarantee the signal will stay with us, but if it does die, I will restart. So if you're following me, you'll get a notification if it restarts. If not, we'll just try to do it. Just hang on for a bit if it does go out, because I'll just come out the other side. How are you doing? Oh, God. It smells like a public toilet. Oh, there he is. Big silverback. There are gibbons, not here. Ooh, God, it stinks in here. It stinks. They're cleaning the tree. What do I got right here? It literally does smell like a public toilet. Oh, there he is. Orangutans. There's 2 orangutans. 2 orangutans, no Michael Jackson. And these guys are not. Oh, whew. Guys, that stank so bad. Oh, man. So this is the orangutan highway. The orangutans can climb up and then swing over to another cage. I have never actually seen the orangutans use this rope bridge, but they built it. Oh, the snake house is closed. Bummer. This is the snake house. This is a cool one. This has got a real Harry Potter vibe. I feel like I don't know about you guys, but I feel like really doing Christmas up this year. I mean, like over the top decorating, Christmas cookies, Harry Potter, Love Actually, all the Christmas classics. I don't know, it's just been such a crap year that I think lighting up would just be awesome. No? I don't know. Oh, there is an orangutan. I've never seen this. There's an orangutan actually going up the thing. There is an orangutan going up the thingy.
So cute.
So see, the orangutans can cross over from one cage set to another cage set by this like above ground orangutan highway, and then they poop on people as they go. This is like a conservation building. So, oh, there's a couple. Oh, there's a baby. There's a baby orangutan. I am a child at heart. Baby orangutan. And here comes. We've got orangutan movement. Doo-doo-doo. Baby orangutan eating the grass. Oh, guess what was next? I can't enter that. I gotta go around the side. Okay, so we gotta figure out how to get in here. All these paths are messed up now. I gotta go this way. Yeah, well, there's not a lot out today, I think. They've closed a lot of things, so you have to take animals when you can get them. Ooh, leaf blower. Beep, beep. I'm a leaf blower. It's actually a pretty good zoo when everything is out and operational, but due to coronavirus, you know, sometimes the keepers don't even come in, so they have to keep the animals in. The panda just had a baby. Okay, so there is a baby panda, and I think they're renovating the panda exhibit to give the mother and the baby some bonding time without all the craziness. The gibbons are over there somewhere, and they are loud as hell. This is the prairie dogs. These guys are cool. They're always out being dumbasses. Prairie dogs.
What are we looking at, Rose? No, Rose, you have to look on this side.
Monkey orphanage. You know. Oh, he's digging a hole. If you want to work with monkeys, you should take a look at the organization called Earthwatch. Earthwatch. And what Earthwatch does is you pay them money, and then they send you out on digs and studies all over the world. Yeah, Earthwatch. So if you want to do like a monkey study in like the Congo, they can hook you up with like a laboratory that's currently looking for people to help study monkeys or prairie dogs or whatever. They've got programs all over the world. Earthwatch. I always tell the story about there was an Earthwatch team I think in the Congo, and they were studying how monkeys would communicate. And they had this guy come, and within like a week, he had made observations that the PhDs and doctors who'd studied for 10 years had no idea. And they said, well, how do you know what they're doing? Why do you see this? And he's like, oh, my job is I work in Las Vegas finding cheaters. And I'm able to pick up certain signals that the cheaters give. And he was able to watch the monkeys and detect all these signals that they were doing. The line, just to separate people. Tiger, burning bright. This is, I don't know what tiger this is. Yeah, they can. So this guy, who amazed everyone, he watched people in Las Vegas for hints and clues that they were cheating at cards or at other games, and he was able to do that with the monkeys, and they were just like, "This is amazing." You know, your observations are stuff that we just didn't even notice. So. So that organization is called Earthwatch. If you're interested, just Google Earthwatch and you can find out about their programs around the world. It's actually surprisingly easy to do stuff. My father is a retired professor and he's done many things. You know, I don't think there are any bald eagles here because there's bald eagles all over the place. They're not an uncommon bird in the DC area. Where'd he go? Gotta get clean. Tickets here are free. The zoo in Washington, D.C. is a free zoo, paid for by the Smithsonian Institution. Look at that tongue. Bloom, 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 bloom. Do, 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 do. No, the Smithsonian is not, I don't think they get a stipend. I think they got the land like 100 years ago, but I think they're self-sufficiently. Yeah, my dad has gone all over the world with Earthwatch and other organizations. He dug mummies in Peru. He dug dinosaurs in China, dinosaurs in the U.S. He did an archaeology dig in Scotland. Lots of other crazy stuff. So I think Smithsonian is now self-sufficient. Revenues from the Smithsonian magazine. Oh, he's roaring. Can you hear him? You hear it? Can you hear it? I don't know what their packages include. Yeah. He seems bored. There might be another one in here. One of these has two. My father he's done archaeology, he's done paleontology, he's done anthropology, I guess it was behavior of animals, and just some other stuff. But technically his original training was as a geologist. So he did a mummy dig in Chile, which was pretty cool. So in this area of Chile, it rains like a fraction of an inch per year. So when bodies are buried, they're preserved for, hundreds of years. And the law in Chile is like, if you don't pay to upkeep the cemetery, people can dig you up. So what they found is these old burial mounds from like 200 years ago, and they would dig up the mummies and try to figure out what they died from by doing autopsies on the mummies. It's pretty rad. Ooh, there he is. I think he's gonna go poo. You did find a T-Rex. He just felt like it. That was his retirement. he's hungry. He's going down to the gate. He's like, open the flipping gate. I want to have lunch. So he's down there like knocking on the door. And of course they're like, yeah, not yet, buddy. He's down there. Where'd he go? He's way up high. He misses his wife. She's in the other cage. Bonjour, bonsoir. They don't have any grizzly bears here. He's looking for his spouse, who's in the next cage over. I think they would hump too much or fight. I'm not sure. Okay.
Want to go see the lemurs?
Okay, where do you want to go next?
Lemurs?
Okay, I know.
Tell me, lemurs or
Cool. All right, let's get out. All right, let's make our way down. Oh, God, I could go over there, but it's a hike. But let me guess. You guys want to see the seals? You want to see the sea lions? We're all right. But I don't know where the seals are, to be honest. I'm not sure how to get there from here. I'll wander around a little bit. There's only like one or two bears here. They're not like grizzlies or black bears either. They do have some sea lions. There's lemurs. I haven't seen lemurs since Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Zoo had a bunch of lemurs. There's a lemur. Upon your case, King Julian. Bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. I'd like to move it, move it. Move it. Yeah, the national sound of Washington, D.C. The siren. All right, how the hell? Oh, Smokey. Smokey the Bear used to live here when he died. Oh, is there a bear here? Is it just fish? Turtles. Lots of turtles. Yeah, dinosaur. Only you can prevent forest fires. Cool. For those who don't know Smokey the Bear, Smokey was a small bear cub that was rescued by some firemen after a forest fire. He was seriously injured. They brought Smokey to the zoo here in Washington. They patched him up, and he became a mascot of the National Forest Service in their efforts against forest fires. This was Smokey the Bear. There's Smokey. He was patched up by a doctor, and then Smokey became sort of the mascot of the firemen. That's President, is that President? No, that's not President Truman. So Smokey was a huge hit at the zoo in the 1950s. He died, though, in 1976. And Smokey was basically an orphan. Now we are having far more fires than ever. This sign appears at pretty much every national park in the United States. Smokey, I'm not sure where he was found. Out west, I would think. Smokey Bear, maybe. Smokey weighed 11 pounds, and then he was 350. He used to eat a lot of fish, they said. Smokey Bear Zone. Alrighty. We have made it down to the sea lion and seal zone. I don't know if they're actually out hanging out being sea lion-y or just being lazy. King Kong's in New York. Do you know there was 2 different endings for King Kong versus Godzilla? There was an American ending and a Japanese ending. I'll let you guess who won in each. But personally, the idea that King Kong could beat Godzilla is just nuts. If I go back up that way, I go back to the entrance of the park. If I go down here, I get to the fishes. I remember getting in a huge debate in 6th grade about whether machine guns could kill King Kong. Because Godzilla was like taking tank shells. And this gun would just be like, you know, whatever. Feeding them. I think somewhere for food is open.
The one that's doing the trenches. I think this one must be an older one. The one that's
There's a one in the
the one that's the sister is the older one, I think.
Well, maybe they're trying to find a certain thing.
He's very
This one's like, I don't want this fish. I want a different fish.
Oh no, you can't buy it. You can compare.
That's interesting.
Maybe he doesn't feel much.
Oh, pelican. pelican approaching. He's like, I want food.
What is he doing? Making sure that it's still safe?
Uh-oh.
He wants
Boom.
it like alive.
Here comes the pelican.
The bird's gonna try and get it. Yeah.
Bird's like, I want it. Here comes another one.
Big birds.
Let's go underwater. Let's go down and see what they're doing underwater. So we can actually see underneath, and we can see what these guys are doing down here. There's one.
Oh, he's gonna come over, Sienna. Yeah, here's your leaf. There's a leaf for you. Maybe he'll like the back. He comes over.
Where is he? Where are they?
They're swimming around, they're getting fed, so they might not want to come over here right now.
Here he is. Here he is.
Yeah, right there in front of you.
Wonderful.
Well, because you kind of missed them. You gotta pay attention.
They're like, where'd they go?
Here he comes.
No, not yet.
Maybe he's gonna come back over.
Can't see him.
No.
Here he comes. Here he goes. So cool.
Yeah, it's a weapon.
Here he comes.
They're busy getting fed today. So he might come over. You just have to be patient. He's kind of doing his own thing.
Make room for more people to come, okay? Some more
Oh, he's gonna get fed.
Maybe bye-bye to sea lions. Bye-bye. We'll see you later, okay? We're gonna go this way. We gotta go this way.
See if we can get up a little closer. Those are just joining. We're at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C., one of the few museums and exhibits that's still open right now in Washington, D.C., due to COVID restrictions on most of the museums. Museums are closing this weekend, actually. So we can't really go to museums anymore. Most of the DC area was in phase 3 of the reopening plan, but they have retreated back to phase 2, which has more significant restrictions. So
Are you done with this?
phase 2 means no museums. Are they over here again? Where are they? Oh, he just surfaced over there. He's flapping with the flapping over there. He's coming over here.
You're gonna come give me a moose. Moose fire.
Lost him. He's gone. All right, let's head out of here. I'm not really sure where this path goes. I think there's a bear down here. It's very blue out today. Oh, that's right. It's like a cave. Bear. I think this is a sloth bear. Asian one. It's a baby bear. It's not that cold. It's a little chilly. It's not cold in the sun. It's kind of cold in the shade, though. And people are wearing jackets.
Now, these
It's like in the
bears,
50s.
we're up here, and this is called South America. And see, the orange is that's where these bears live. Because this is the Andes Mountains, and these are called Andean bears because they live in the Andes Mountains. So they're different, you know. Say what, sweetie? They eat Indian?
This is a South American bear. It's known as the Andes bear. The Andean Mountains. There's actually there's like an exhibit down here, the Amazon. It's like really hot. Where's that path go? I'm not sure where that goes. Oh, that's so up there is the veterinary center. That's the zoo's medical clinic up there. Oh, this building's closed too. So that's the animal hospital. Up on the hill there, that big building is an animal hospital for all the stuff in the zoo. Yeah, they treat all sorts of animals, not just, I mean, they're not like a private, but they do deal with, like, if a bald eagle is injured, which happens a lot in the area, they can sometimes work on it. Oh, there's trout. Let me see where I'm at. This is the American Farm exhibit. That's definitely. Could get some water. This is the kids' zoo. You guys are asking if there's like a petting zoo kind of thing. This is kind of it. Didn't really intend to get here. I'm going to go cross over onto the Rock Creek now. Make our way down to Georgetown like I promised you. If I can figure out a way to get out of here. Cow. Big cow. I'm not sure where I'm going to go now, to be honest. I was going to go down Rock Creek, but they've really made a mess of the roads here. There used to be a path that I could cut around this tunnel here. Now I fear I may have to walk through the tunnel, which is just unpleasant. So we'll see after we go through there how far down into Georgetown we're going to go. There's a pig. There used to be a path that would go behind the mountain, and you could take it to get onto the parkway, but the last time I checked, it was closed for some reason. It's a weather station here. I've been thinking about getting a home weather station for my house, just because it would be cool. Okay. You can buy these really advanced weather things that tell you like the wind speed, the humidity, the temperature, barometric pressure, rainfall amounts, stuff like that. And then you can connect them to the internet, and you can like connect to like a nationwide grid of home weather stations reporting like highly accurate weather data all over the place. It's kind of cool. I guess that parkway is open. Gotta go to the second bridge. Can I get to the parkway there? I should ask her though. Can I get to the trail this way or? Hi. Hello? Excuse me. Can I get to the trail, or is that just totally blocked off? I gotta go up. All right, thank you. So, more stuff closed. So annoying. So I gotta go up over the road, then I gotta come back across the road. But if I go up that road, there's a good French fry place up there. I don't know what time it is. It's about 12 o'clock. Shoot. This is Rock Creek. I think it's a woman. Yeah. So literally, this is dumb. They make you walk across the road and then crosswalk back across the road to come back. People drive on this road like it's a freeway. Not looking forward to this crosswalk. I thought about renting a scooter. I am leaving the zoo. We have left the zoo. I actually brought some gloves in case I do decide to rent a scooter or a electric bike or something. There is some dumbass riding the wrong way on this road with a bike. It's like high on the not smart list. Now I got to put myself in jeopardy because they're too lazy to open that gate. Push button to turn on the warning lights. I'm gonna wait till traffic clears. I was gonna go. Why slow the traffic down? Look at that. They could have just opened this gate. I could have just walked out onto the path. But no. No. Damn, parking is $30. What is it with parking in this country? It's such a scam. So now we are on the Rock Creek Parkway. This is actually a bike path, but there being no bikes, we're just going to go with it. I don't know, what is it like trying to gouge people? You can't learn for free. No. That was a great episode of The Simpsons. Get those kids, they're trying to learn for free. So we've walked about 3 miles so far. Our goal today was 5, which we thought we'd accomplish by quickly going down to this parkway and heading into Georgetown. But because we decided to go to the zoo, all bets are off now. Uber was an interesting idea when it started, but you know, now the thing that's always struck me is like the Uber drivers today are like not just average people sharing a ride here or there, but like professionals like trying to eke out a living, driving as many shifts as they can and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, because originally Uber was just like, hey, you want a ride? I'll give you a ride. But then it got so big and professional, it just became like taxi service. I don't know what time it is. It's about 12 o'clock noon. I'm supposed to be home now cooking for my kids. Ha ha ha. Screw that, kids. You can eat later. Now. Should we go through the tunnel? What do you guys think? The path is open. I think I'll get some french fries. No, the path is not open, jerks. Assholes. All right. I have no idea if the signal's going to hold. We'll find out. Well, there is a nice rail here. I see light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, it's a car. This always reminds me of Back to the Future, too. Marty's on his hoverboard. Biff is trying to kill him. It's reconnecting? Yeah. We're under like 500 feet of rock. It's going to be a wacky signal. Yeah, we're almost out. You guys should be able to see the end. Almost. Okay, now it officially stinks in here. Definitely getting lightheaded. Wow, look at those pink elephants. Whoa, there's an alien. I don't know why you need drugs. You could just walk through this tunnel and get high on gasoline vapors. Fumes are getting a little funny. We were out. Whoa. And we're out and free once again. It's a homeless camp. It's a tent and a shopping cart. There are a lot of homeless sleeping rough in the parks. This park is pretty huge too. There are places in this park where you could camp and no one would find you for a while. It's a big bridge. All right, should we keep going to Georgetown, you think? Maybe I'll just get the kids burgers. All right, up we go. It's getting hot now. Of course, I am walking uphill. And once again, we have to cross a major road. Yeah. You would think the guy would go farther back. There's less noise. I don't know. I think we'll head to Georgetown, or North Georgetown. We'll see how we are when we get there. If we're really hungry, we might just bail, grab a scooter and go home. I gotta talk to the kids. I don't know what they're gonna eat. I'm also not entirely sure where the trail is. There's a trailhead here. I thought there's another trailhead down by the bridge. This place is Woodley Park Zoo. We're just at the zoo. This park is called Rock Creek Park. Rock Creek Park is about 1,600 acres, and it bisects the whole city, Washington, D.C., separating out the northwest quadrant from the rest of the city. There's a creek that runs through it at Rock Creek, and there's a parkway too. But culturally, there's a major difference in that this section here doesn't have some of the same afflictions of urban poverty and crime as the other sections of the city do. More of an enclave, more suburban in nature almost. Pixelated, that's kind of strange because I am in a park. Like, you'd figure I'd have a good signal, but I guess it happens sometimes. Now I think the trail just goes right off to the right here. Yeah. You know, and when we go back there, I can take the mask off because there ain't gonna be nobody back there except homeless people and probably rent boys or drug addicts, aliens, terrorists. Okay, woo. Took a break, mask break. Pony up, pony up. lot of squirrels back here. Ooh, whoa, big mud. I guess you could mountain bike back here. The problem is it's kind of a dead end. I've actually wrote to this, said you guys need a bridge at the other end of this to reconnect back across the trail and to connect in the Georgetown segments of the trail, but money's tight. I'll mask up for this guy. So we both threw our mask on. Gonna be walking here next week? That's cool. This is actually a part of the trail that doesn't get much traffic. This connects into the Whitehaven Trail, which goes into Glover Archibald. So people don't really hike back here very often. Normanstone is up here, Mass Avenue. Hong Kong was a better hike. Yeah, I agree with you. The vice president lives up at the top of that hill over there. I'm in Rock Creek Parkway, which is a park in Washington, D.C. I'm behind a lot of embassies. Up there is Embassy Row, Massachusetts Avenue. You guys usually see me hike up there. And but now we're down in the woods, just for something different. Eventually we're going to pop up at the British International School in Georgetown. And then I'm going to probably go to a barbecue joint and get myself a chicken sandwich. And I'm going to call my wife and see what the kids want. They usually don't like barbecue, but tough. I'll get them a hamburger if they don't like barbecue. And then I'll probably rent a scooter or a motorcycle or a bicycle or whatever, and then putter back home, which shouldn't be too far from the restaurant. The British International School? It's where Wayne Rooney's kids went. Though they did have a student stab another student there a year or two ago. But she got out of it with diplomatic immunity. I don't know. I think they're tired of my barbecue. Actually, though, truth be told, they had ribs last night. We made Korean barbecued ribs last night, and it was actually pretty good. But they just weren't really that hungry. So, this is the Massachusetts Avenue Bridge. Hillary Clinton lives up there. Oh, Barack Obama lives right over there. Up in those beds. That's the Muslim temple I showed you yesterday, the Muslim center, Islamic center. And Ivanka Trump lives up there. And the Russian spy center, the Russian defense attaché is right next to Ivanka Trump's house. Yeah, Hillary Clinton lives down. Hillary Clinton lives up over here. Obama's over there. Ivanka's over there. A lot of ambassadors live back here. Most of the congressmen and senators, they live over on Capitol Hill. I don't know if she's still in town, to be honest. There have been reports of Ivanka moving. Yeah, so Obama's next door neighbor is the Islamic Center, and Ivanka Trump's next door neighbor is the Russian Defense Attaché Spy Center. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, lives next to the Danish embassy. You know what's fascinating? The White House personal effects are packed in 2 hours. So when the president leaves the White House with the president-elect, the movers go in, pack everything, bring in the new president's stuff, set it all up, and then, boom, they swear in the new president. He comes back, watches the parade, and by the time he gets back into his house, it's all set up. Socks in the drawers, underwear nicely folded, etc. That is Kalorama up there. That's probably the most expensive neighborhood in DC, Kalorama Circle. And up to my right is, I think you should call it Cathedral Heights, Wesley Heights. Another area with a lot of ambassadors and other posh houses. You ain't gonna get a house up in those neighborhoods for under 4 or 5 million. Hong Kong prices. Well, not really. Oh. Our 1,000 square foot apartment in Hong Kong was 4.4 million US dollars for 1,000 square feet in a 20-year-old building. 4.4 million US. Now, at some point, I actually have to turn up. There's some of the rocks, Rock Creek. It did have a slight, not really like the $1 million view, you know, like skyscrapers. It was mid-levels Hong Kong, so it was midway between the Peak and downtown. So it was only like a 7-minute taxi ride to work, 15-minute walk to downtown. I also could get up to the Peak easily. I have no idea where I'm going to stay when I go back next summer on our staycation. So they need a bridge here. They need a bridge that goes over at this point, because this trail, hang on a second. This trail connects up into Georgetown and the Glover Archibald Park. It's a really extensive trail system up this way, but it's basically separated from the Rock Creek system due to a lack of a bridge. Nope. Yeah, man, there's always trying to raise the rent. That's actually one of the reasons we came back. We were paying $100,000 a year in rent. So 100,000 US dollars a year in rent. And we're like, if we're going to spend 100,000 a year, let's spend it on our kids, not on some greedy landlord. So came back to a school that costs $100,000 a year and pay less in rent. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But it was actually cheap by Hong Kong standards. The average family in our international school was spending about $140,000 a year in rent. My son's best friend, they were paying 33,000 US dollars per month in rent. 33,000 US per month. So what's that? 360,000 a year? Oh yeah. Almost all the landlords in Hong Kong are Chinese locals. There are very few Westerners who bought property. Some did. Not many. Banking, finance. So the family that pays $33,000 a month, the father has a hedge fund that's worth 2.2 billion in assets. 2.2 billion. So their administration fees are 2.5% a year. So they get 50 million to administer the fund, and then they get, that's a year, 50 million US a year, and then they'll get 20% of any profits that they generate for the fund. So if they're able to generate, say, a 50% return over 5 years, he'll walk away with $200 million. So when you're talking about those kind of numbers, what's $33,000 a month? Yeah? I mean, it's all relative. That's Hong Kong. I think the average baseline expat that we dealt with in the international schools was easily on $250,000 to $300,000 base salary per year, plus housing expenses and or school expenses. So it's one of the reasons we left. Our kids were getting a rather warped view of money. Yeah, US dollars. So we just thought, kids aren't going to grow up normal being surrounded by crazy money like this. But I give you something, everything is relative. I give a story. I know a guy who only flew the Concorde. All right? The Concorde used to fly between Washington and London, or New York and London, even London and Hong Kong. And it was like $10,000, $15,000 per ticket. Okay? This is all first class. And I was like, how do you justify $10,000 every time you go to London? And he said, I'm a bank rescue specialist. My job is to get into a distressed asset like a bank and come up with a rescue plan as fast as possible. Every day that I can get involved can save hundreds of millions of dollars in shareholder value or in bank assets. Literally hundreds of millions of dollars a day can be wiped out and lost. So paying $10,000 for a ticket so I can get to London 5 hours earlier could actually save the bank millions and millions of dollars. I was like, yeah, it's all relative. It's all relative. Like in the early days of PayPal, they were having huge problems with hackers. And computer geeks being computer geeks, they hate anything that's not working perfectly. It's just like frustrating. And they were going absolutely crazy trying to find, they were losing like $1 million a month to hackers. $1 million a month. And it was eating them up. They were just staying up all night trying to find out how to break this, how to stop this. And finally, one of the venture banking guys, the business guy, came over. And he's like, listen, we're making $100 million a month. We're losing $1 million a month. Let's focus on the profits, okay? Let's focus on the big picture here. Yeah? And the guys were like, oh. Because they were literally being consumed. All their time and energy was spent chasing down when the in the end was just basically 1% of the problem. It is interesting, and it starts to, if you can start to think that way, it's how you do things. Like, I went out and bought a $700 video camera. Yeah? But I was able to make a video with it that got, an extra $2,000 that I wouldn't have gotten with the other thing. So, good investment, yeah? It's all relative. You just have to start looking at purchases. So, like, for me, for example, I wear the basic of most basic clothing ever. I have 36 pairs of identical socks. Yeah, I just went to frickin' Target. I bought 36 pairs of identical socks because I don't care. It doesn't change my ability to make money in any way. I never have to match socks. When you have 36 pairs of identical socks, your socks always match. Time savings. Massive time savings. I spend a lot of money on computers and technology because that's where I make my money. But on other stuff, I'm wearing a $50, no, it was like a $50 U.S. Army surplus military jacket. Yes, I have a $400 Barber wax coat, which I can wear if I ever go to a hunt or something, or a steeplechase. But my $50 coat actually is far more practical and will survive a lot longer. I guess it's just all things. I always tell my kids this, I have this one pan in my house. It's called the popcorn pan. I bought it for $5 back when I was in college. And I had the popcorn pan for like 30 years. And I mean, now it's so beat up and crashed, I only use it to make popcorn. But I'm like, I got my $5 out of this pan. I don't buy Polo. Actually, lately I've been buying Amazon Basic. I actually like the Amazon Basics. They're pretty comfortable. I do wear Gap khakis. I do splurge on my shoes though, because as you guys have noticed, I walk a lot. I do actually have pretty much the highest of the high-end running shoes. I buy Aces, and I usually buy 2 pairs so I can alternate. I'm actually due to renew my shoes, get new ones. How often do I buy shoes? I buy shoes about every 2 years. Unfortunately, this set has gone about 3.5, because I don't like any of the new Aces I tried on. I've tried on a lot, and I just didn't like the color. I didn't like how they felt, and I'm not walking as much as I used to. You guys remember in Hong Kong I was walking 10 to 15 miles a day. Now I'm lucky if I get 5, so the shoes last a lot longer. Yeah, they're pretty hot shoes. They're pretty beat up now, to be honest. They have very little sole left. I can't use them in the rain. Another weird thing, I was a shoes on kind of guy all the time until I married my wife, who, being Asian, is shoes off in the house. So now I spend a significant amount of my day not wearing shoes. And I think as a result, my shoes have more time to air out, and they actually last longer because, well, I'm not wearing them as much. Interesting thing. So this is the British International School in North Georgetown. Little British kids are out playing footy and netball. Netball. It's like basketball, but without the fun bits. That's how my kids described it. Because their school in Hong Kong was really big into netball. And all the American kids are like, this is dumb. This is beyond dumb. Let's play hoops. Netball is like basketball without a backboard, and you don't dribble, you just pass it, and you get a free shot. You can't like block the dude. More uphill. I'm getting tired of this uphill crap. All right, mask on.
Because it's like the door thing, it's like every time. Has anybody told her about this?
Whew. What a hike. That's Wisconsin Avenue. That's the main drag of Georgetown. No, most congressmen are not here year-round, or all week. Congressmen, a lot of them are Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. So, and most of them live up on Capitol Hill. Now, if you're up on Capitol Hill, you see congressmen all the time. Hell, you can see them in the bars if you want, especially if you're a young 25-year-old girl. But up in this section of town, there's not a lot of congressmen. There's a few senators, but they don't really go out much. Okay, guys. Now let's go up a bit and then we'll figure out what to do. There's a scooter, but I'm not that far from the barbecue place. I don't like winter. I like fall, I don't like winter. Living in the tropics for 10 years kind of changed me. I have scoped on a scooter before. The problem is you have to use your right hand to do the speed and your left hand to do the brakes. And that kind of like leaves you with zero hands to hold the phone. Yeah, your body adjusts. I mean, I grew up in a very cold part of the country, but I kind of lost all that. Whew. So now we're back on Wisconsin Avenue, making our way up to a burger place, I think. Whew. You know, in New York City, the average New Yorker is 7 pounds lighter than the average American. And it's speculated because everybody has to walk so much. People in Hong Kong, it's very rare that you see truly overweight people in Hong Kong. Again, one of the same reasons. The Turkish embassy was back, oh, we missed it. It was back by the Islamic Center. and Barack Obama's house. So down here is actually the back door to the Vice President's house. Hello, Prue. Buenos dias. Well, I guess it's summer down there, isn't it? Yeah. So down here, that's the Vice President's house. That's the back exit of the Vice President's house. And if he comes up here, he can go to Good Guys, which is a strip club. Good Guys is a famous strip club where Russian spies will go because the... Guys, I'm actually getting a battery alert. We've been on so long, our battery's almost dead. So, I think we're going to have to end our scope in just a bit as we go get some lunch. I've got to actually call the kids, see if they want barbecue or hamburgers. And hopefully there's a scooter nearby. And I can just scooter them home. Yeah. So that was our exciting insight for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Feel free to check me out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Penguin6 is my name. I'm over there. I will be back again soon, but for now it's lunch. It was nice chatting with you all today. Stay safe. We're almost through this.